Welcome, Dave here. My development environment, part 1. We're going to use XAMPP. We're going to download, install, verify, backup, do some admin, and just look at the local host. So first, a little overview picture. We have the client side on my PC, and here's some of the tools that I utilize. Some should be recognizable. And here's the XAMPP pieces that we're going to install, the Apache Server, MySQL, and FileZilla, and how we connect. There's the ports, and it's called localhost. Easy enough. Once again, just a little overview of where we're going. So think about how we communicate throughout the entire process. So step 1, let's go ahead and download the wonderful XAMPP product from ApacheFriends.org. Open a browser session, go to ApacheFriends.org, click on the XAMPP icon, navigate to your product. Mine is Windows, and I'm going to download it, and I'm going to download the installer option because that makes things easy for me, which I like. So it's coming down. I also have this pointed to a directory I created called localville, just so I can keep it separate, and I just try to not use the default directory. So let's go ahead and install now that it's downloaded. Here's my new directory. I call it localville, and all I have in there is the download. So we'll go ahead and run the executable. Run. My language is English. No worry about OK for the UAC, and let's go ahead and start the installation. Where do we want it to go? You can leave it to the default directory. Again, I created a directory called localville on my F drive. So I'm going to put in localville as the destination. Click next. Oh, services, servers, services. Yes, I will install them as services. In other words, it might be a daemon or whatever you're running, but let's go ahead and install. It's extracting away. Good thing this wonderful tool allows me to splice out some of that so we don't have to wait. All of the files are extracted. It's installed. Let's click Finish, and it's checking our ports. Started its Apache service, started the MySQL service, and it's completed, and we can use what's called the XAMPP control panel, and we'll see that in a moment. So okay, thank you for installing that for me. It was successful. That wasn't too difficult. Yes, start the control panel, and let me see what we have. There's our XAMPP control panel. So now let's verify our servers now that we are installed. You'll notice that the little green running, we have 3 servers running, and on the side there it's got 3 check marks next to service. Going to Windows, to Computer Management, Services and Applications, and Services. And let's find those 3 services that were just installed. Here's Apache 2.2. And we can stop it through the control panel and start it from the Windows side. No difference. The control panel is just a wonderful thing because it shows you just the XAMPP related services, and you don't have to go searching through the list of all of your system servers. Here's the FileZilla service, and again I can stop it in Windows and start it in the XAMPP control panel. So no difference, just a matter of convenience. And we have one more server to check out, so let's go ahead and get the MySQL service. Just verify it. There it is. They're in alphabetical order. MySQL. And we can stop it on the Windows side and start it on the XAMPP control panel side. And we'll look a little bit deeper in later parts, but right now we did the install, everything's working, we haven't touched anything. Let's go ahead and do a backup. Very straightforward. Again, here's my localville. Notice also the document root, just wanted to point that out. But anyway, I'm just doing a select and copy, nothing fancy here. But I also had another directory that I created, and I just call it my XAMPP install backup. And I'm just going to paste the entire localville directory into this directory. So paste, there we go. Let's copy those things, 586 meg. There's our data. We have a clean backup. Now we can go play around, because this is a development environment and the whole idea is to go in and mess things up, because that's the only way to learn how it really works. So backup is complete. We can now move on to the next step, which is the admin. And now two key pieces here in admin. But let's start with going to creating a new text document. The idea here is keeping a log. We're going to be entering admin, right? User admin. We're going to be keeping track of user IDs and passwords. I happen to call mine my development environment captain's log.txt, just a text file. Doesn't matter what it is. But let's go ahead and open it up and prepare it. And as you move along, this will probably grow, or you can have a different one for each product. But once again, I just have a log, putting some text in there. Here's my install notes. Let's save that, and let's go start changing things. So open up a browser, and let's go to localhost. That's what we just installed. So now we're using our XAMPP world, which it's called localhost. And this is a one-time thing, choosing the language. Mine is English, obviously. And here's our XAMPP for Windows screen. We are successful. Just seeing this screen, we are successful. But this is the main XAMPP screen. So the first thing, let's just check the status. Similar to the control panel, but it just shows what's running and what's not running. I didn't do anything with XAMPP or the Tomcat. So our next step, right? So one, we verified status, but now we need the key thing is security. And we have two pieces to take care of in here, but you'll notice that it's telling us how unsecure it is right now by those red boxes over on the side. And it also gives us information on the screen. But please note the default ports at the bottom. We just click on the security tab, and step one is the MySQL root password. And I'm calling it localville. I'll change it after the video, obviously, but it doesn't matter. It is just on my machine, but the idea is that you are doing it to simulate production as much as possible. I mean, you can get away with not securing it. But I'll go ahead and take note. I called my password localville. I'll save my log, come on back, and let's change that password. The root password was successfully changed. So far, so good. Step two is the XAMPP directory protection .htaccess, something that definitely requires knowledge. I'm calling the user XAMPP_user and the password XAMPP_pass. Let's go ahead, log that, because I can't remember it for more than 10 to 12 seconds. There we go. We put that in our log. Let's save that. Go back to the browser and click Make Safe the XAMPP directory. Oh, look at that. It didn't like the underscore. Special characters are not allowed. So I'll take the underscore out and I'm going to call it XAMPP user. Again, doesn't matter. Make up a name. And I'm doing XAMPP pass without the underscore. And success. So now let's go back to our log and remove the underscore. And complete. So those were the two key things, MySQL root password and the XAMPP directory protection .htaccess. Next step, we're just going to take a look at phpinfo and phpMyAdmin. So coming back, let's go ahead and start from the beginning. And we'll start with localhost. And oh, look at that. Our XAMPP directory authentication is required. Mine just happens to be cached in there. You would have to enter it or check your log if you can't remember it. Now we're going to look at phpinfo, and if this screen shows up, it's up and running. That's as far as we're going right now. Same with phpMyAdmin. This is our client for MySQL and how we actually create databases. And again, it's asking for our root password. Oh, my cached one was wrong. I could go back to my log, but I remember that it is localville. I'll go ahead and type that in. Click go. Boom, we see phpMyAdmin. It's up and running, and we will do a deeper dive into phpinfo and phpMyAdmin in the future parts of this series. This is just part one. We are installed. So we did a download, we did an install, we verified, backup, admin, and looked at our local host. Thank you very much for watching, and enjoy XAMPP.